Supernatural Season 14, Episode 19, Jack in the Box. So this episode, of course, is the penultimate episode of Season 14. We're going into the season finale with the next episode. Crazy ending, but first off, Doom has been officially killed off. Naomi may or may not return since she was like kind of locked away and stuff. They reference it. Cass just shanked Duma. It was just like, okay, you're pissing me off. You're trying to... It's hard to say if technically she was corrupt. She was using Jack. She wasn't really corrupting him because he's just all left up right now anyway. But she was definitely using him in some really messed up ways. Like he didn't, she was just manipulating him. Like it was really interesting to watch him do all this really dark stuff. But it's just like in his eyes, like they even have it when they're like walking down the hallway. He's like, so, Sam and Dean will be happy. And she's like, words can't describe how Sam and Dean are going to feel. But she was using him, he turns the guy into a pillar of salt. He swallows up some people. He has the worms like burst out of this guy who I assume died because they mentioned the whole like he took his last. I would assume that meant breath. I'm like, so I'm pretty sure that guy's dead. And they show the worm like come out his mouth. And it was just like, this is insane. Like this is a really crazy episode where he's doing these really dark things, but he doesn't see how bad it is because all he wants to do is just be like, I just want to make it up to Sam and Dean, and he doesn't have the thought process really. It's funny, like when characters go through the process of losing their soul, they kind of lose a little bit, mentally as well, where they lose that part of them that thinks about everything that the other people would think of. I guess it's empathy more than anything else. That's what you really lose. And it was interesting watching that because it was like, well, I just want to make them happy, and if doing good is what makes them happy, which of course it is because they do good, then I'll just do good. I'll kill all these bad people and turn people into angels, which was a very interesting concept. Didn't go the way I thought because when they referenced it, it was like, we can't just poof, make angels because you're not God. But maybe if you deal with people that are kind of predisposed to it. I thought she meant like yank people out of heaven and turn them into angels. I thought that would have been really crazy. That would have been a really interesting way to do that. But it was just like people that were super religious. So he goes and I don't know what he did. He kind of like flashed everybody and they were just like stuck in a daze. And then he messes up with the one guy and then he takes them all and poof, they're all angels now. So I thought that was really interesting. I assume that'll be cut short depending on, how the finale goes, but I don't know if they'll be having more angels come up or who knows. They might throw Chuck in there. I highly doubt it, but wouldn't that be insane if Chuck was just like, all right, I was in my other dimension making a brand new Earth, like Earth 12 or 15 or whatever. I was like, I saw you guys were doing some stupid stuff, so I came back and Chuck is in the finale or something. Maybe him and his sister. That'd be really weird. I don't see that happening, but that'd be pretty nuts if that's just like, hey, had to come in. This is just getting a little too wild. So I doubt that'll happen, but that'd be interesting. So just the way they handle things, it was just really crazy watching Jack do all these horrible things, but he's being manipulated by Duma to, seemingly to please Sam and Dean to kind of make up for the mistake that he made. And of course, that's not the case. He's just naturally being manipulated. Cass goes after him and, tries to hunt him down and find him. And then, of course, Sam and Dean end up coming up with the plan where they use the casket. That's just what I'm going to call it. They're going to use the casket to keep him locked up, which I figured wasn't going to work because I'm like, they're going off this plan for like, they mentioned the Archangel thing. And I was like, cool, Archangel makes sense, but I'm pretty sure based off of even what we've seen in the series, a Nephilim is a bit strong, at least, Jack specifically since he's, Lucifer's son. I was like, I'm pretty sure he's stronger than just your generic Archangel. Like he's got way more powers than that. Pretty sure he can bust out, which of course that's exactly what happens at the end of this episode. They go through the whole process. Duma gets killed. Cass makes it back. Sam and Dean actually trick Jack because of course he just flies there, and then he's stuck in this, stuck in the casket, and it's like, that's when his dear old dad shows up. He's like, all right, you got played. Time to get out of here. And it's right when Cass shows up, he busts out. And I love the visuals for it, where it's like all the smoke and you just, see his eyes. I thought that was actually really well done. So I definitely love that scene. And just the whole way through, there was a lot of tension because I was like, it's hard to tell when they're going to actually be able to play Jack or when something's going to go wrong. Because he's already doing all this bad stuff. And it was like, it's hard to tell how much he really cares about making things up to them. And so when he comes back, it's like, he talks about the mistake and stuff, and Dean was just like, it looked like he was just going to try to pull a gun on him the whole time, which is actually kind of what they showed in the promo. He's going to use like a special gun. So it was just interesting. I was like, I don't know how this scene is going to play out. And they're freaking out. Sam was like, we want things to be better. And he's like, that's what you want, right? Because he didn't even know how Jack was going to react. So he's like, that's what you wanted, right? Like us to forgive you. And he like kind of, slowly pats him on the shoulder. I was like, this is it was an odd version of tension because it's just like Jack doesn't want to hurt them, but if they screw up or say the wrong thing, you kind of get exactly what happened at the end of the episode, except, they wouldn't even get him into the box. It would have just been like, I'm going to kill them, or, he'll just freak out like like he said, he'll just lose control, and then poof, in an instant it happens. So it was an interesting amount of tension going into the ending of this episode, like if they would even be able to get him in the box. And of course they do, and like I said, I was like, he's just going to break out, like at the end, like of course he's going to break out. And naturally he does. So going into this final episode, I just don't know how things are going to play out. It's just like, are they really going to end up killing Jack off? I mean, that's weird to say that sentence like that. But are they going to kill him? What does that mean going, that's kind of the big thing, is like going into the next season, whether, even before I knew it was the final season, regardless of that, it's just like, how do they go into this finale, or how do they end the finale, and yet it's still a cliffhanger? Because I just don't see how they can do it without killing Jack, unless they bring Billy in. And I did think of that, because I was like, they even referenced it before. I think it was like the last episode or 2 episodes ago. They did reference getting his soul back and like going to Billy, and they've done that before. That's how they got Sam's soul back. Like they had the old version of death. He went to the cage and he grabbed his soul. So I don't know how they could do it or explain like where his soul burnt off to, since technically it was just like, he just used his powers and poof, they were gone. So it wasn't like, Sam's body was pulled from the cage, but his soul was still there. So it's very different compared to that situation where it's like, okay, someone revived him, but his soul was stuck in this very specific location because things were really crazy there. They couldn't get all of Sam out. And then for Jack, it's just like, well, we don't know what happens when people use magic to get rid of their soul. Their soul is just kind of gone, and so we don't know exactly what that means, or if you can like pluck pieces of a soul out of the ether, or anything like that. So I don't know what that means. It's really hard to tell. It's just one of those crazy things where it's like, what could they possibly do? Like, is there a way, which I guess technically they could just make it up? I mean, that's kind of how the series goes. They made angels, so that was brand new. Just poof, he can make angels if people are religious. It works, and that's it. It was just like, huh, okay. So they can make up whatever they want. I don't know if they'll do that, going into the finale, but they'd have to in order to save him. Like, they even do it in the promo where Cass was like, you shouldn't have locked him up, and Dean's just like, I wanted him dead, and that's just it for Dean. Like, they, he killed his mom, which was a great scene early on when Dean left, and he was like crying. Obviously, emotional, was like happy or great, but just a well done scene. But man, I love the episode. It was really good. It's just hard to tell. Like, it is so hard to tell how things are really gonna play out, because it's rarely like this. I don't think it's ever really been like this. Like, they always have their sacrifice and stuff like that, but it's never really done in a way where it's revolved around specifically their family, where it's like they're, one of the members is specifically trying to kill another member of their family. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out for the finale, but I definitely love this episode. Of course, we'd love to know what you guys thought about it, so please put your comments down in the comment section below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, your least favorite parts about it, and of course, going into the season finale, I would love to know your predictions for how things are going to play out, what you want to see play out. Do you think Billy will come back? I don't think they'll do Chuck. I feel like that would be like too insane for Chuck to come in, but I think Billy could make an appearance. I feel like there's some way to kind of go back and reference, because I mentioned before, like once they kind of got rid of Michael, it was like, okay, everything's back to normal. But considering everything they're doing with Jack, they could easily bring Billy in and be like, okay, if you guys don't do this specific thing, he's gonna kind of go on a really weird rampage. Like, he won't destroy the world, kind of like Michael was gonna do, but I don't know. It's so hard to tell, especially with Doom being gone. Like, where would that go? But it's interesting. It's hard to tell how they're gonna try to play this. Like, if they'll kill Jack, if they won't kill Jack. So I don't know. It's kind of really up in there. Like, this has been a really crazy season for theories. Like, everything's just been wrong. I was like, Lucifer's coming back. That's how they're gonna beat Michael. Everything I've thought has just been wrong. Like, everything would have made sense if they did it those ways. But then the way they do it is just like, crap. This is just like, every way that they did it was just like, that's really cool, but now something really horrible is happening, and it's led up to this. We've lost Mary, Lucifer is officially gone, Nick is dead, Michael's been taken down, so the world is fairly safe, but like the small section of things, like the internal struggle with the main characters, that's where things are actually like really, really horrible. So I kind of like the way it's been handled so far, and definitely looking forward to how the season's going to end. But like I said, we'll love to know your predictions, your hopes, as well for the next episode. And of course, like I said, definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode in general. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.